All right, let's go. Let's look at these key. We had a huge sell-off in the market yesterday, and the system really picked up some really nice trades. So let's first of all, let's go over yesterday, and then we'll go over today's trading. We're in a buy signal right now. We broke out a market profile. We're in an imbalanced market. We're above a high value area right now, as you can tell. High value means we're looking for buy signals only. We're above 66.33 in our 4-hour window, market profile window. There's a buy signal right there. Buy signal just came out at 8:15:55, just about 7 minutes ago. 7 minutes ago at 663.50. It's already at 671, almost up 10 S&P points from the buy signal that just happened a few minutes ago. So that's a buy signal. Why is it a buy signal? Our green trend filter that we have back tested for 30 years is the best trend filter to reverse price in the S&P is green. It's also into our 25 buy zone. That's our proprietary buy zone that we have in the trading room. We had a lot of great shorts yesterday, which I'll go over in this video in a second. So right there, there's your buy signal. We have dual confluence. It's inside of my trend zone and also inside of my 25 buy zone. And it's above HVA. So if we're above HVA, ever since we opened the trading room, we know one thing. That's an imbalanced market. Only looking to buys. No shorts on the board. Zero shorts. Only buys. Just like yesterday, we'll go over some of the big shorts yesterday on how that we were able to capture that those moves with. And thank you for the emails on some of you traders inside and outside the room on sending me your charts on that big drop yesterday. Okay, so with the low volume node information I gave you guys a couple days ago on Wednesday's video, Thursday video, thank you for all the emails. And I'm glad you guys are picking that up and caught some of the moves. So that being said, let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at yesterday, and then we'll get into today. So that's the last buy signal a few minutes ago, already plus or minus a couple ticks, 63.25 to 72. Almost a 10-point run just a few minutes ago. So let's go into yesterday's trading, and I want to go into these low volume, high volume nodes. I want to show you how there's confluence. Now, this happened in the afternoon when I was in here in the afternoon, and I'm going to show you why these two sell setups that our algorithm picked up were one of the best sell setups of the day. And the reason I'm going to show you that, if I get this long trend line, my goodness gracious, hold on a second. So let's take a look at why these three levels. So we had a sell signal yesterday here into our sell zone. So our trend filter turned red at 11:27 yesterday, 11:27. So 11:27, you can see it actually started in the sell zone here at this level when it got back inside market profile. This is actually a short. This is a short here also because we were out. So let me show you how the traders get trapped in our last couple of videos. The traders got out. The traders got trapped here, getting outside of high value area. We went over this trade a couple of days ago when it was at 32 and it went to 67. And then a trade yesterday I went over before it happened. We had a big buy set up the same way. So it got outside of HVA and then it got right back inside of HVA. So that is called a trap. That's where the traders got trapped. I love these trades. When you get outside of HVA, back inside of HVA. We have it on our intraday charts. So when you go into it, for you Ninja Trader traders, just go into it and you can put in the order flow volume profile, overlay it over top of our system to give you confluence. And then we have our normal 4-hour market profile too to give us our targets. All our targets hit yesterday that I projected, which I'll go over in a second, how you find fair value in the market. So just overlay that and you're going to see these setups, how they conflue. And that's how you're going to find these low volume nodes also. So if you got any questions, like you guys have been emailing me, I'll be glad to help you out, get you set up the right way. So in other words, so put that overlay over top our normal system. So there's your trap. There's your trap right there. There's your trap. Lawns got trapped, got back inside of HVA, came back to our sell zone. This started the big push down yesterday, actually at 11:20. So the sell-off started at 67.42 is when our system started calling this as a sell setup. it broke back inside of HVA. The Wednesday's video, I showed you this exact setup. It retested HVA, and then we got inside my sell zone, my 25 proprietary sell zone, and then it just got cranked. 34 down to 11, and then it rebounded right into our sell zone again at the point of control, and we got a pull-in bar, and then it went from 21 all the way down to the first push down to 05. Then it came up, and this is what I'm going to show you. It hit my low volume node and consequently inside of my sell zone, and we get the yellow trigger candle that came up, yellow trigger entry candle. That was a beautiful one. 67.08 on the first push down to 99. Then it came back up again to confluence inside my 25 sell zone and also at my trend zone, and it just got cranked also. 04 3/4 on the first push to 90, 14 S&P points, and then here it is again. Here's the confluence I'm talking about. We went over this the last couple of days. Low volume node right over top of our sell signal, which our algorithm picked up, and it was beautiful. 2 back-to-back low volume node trades right inside of our algorithms zone, trend zone. Yellow trigger fired. Your speakers went off on your speakers. If you had this algorithm running, we were running a 1/135 in the room. Your speakers went off at the close of this candle. They do not repaint, and the fill was at 92.25 plus or minus a couple ticks, and it just got smoked pretty hard down to 58 on that first push. So these were the 2 biggest confluence trades because you were hitting the low volume nodes. Like I said, in the last 2 days, we've been looking at these trades with confluence, and we have been getting some really nice setups when they conflue with our algorithm. And so those are your best 2 trade shorts of the day because it was right on a low volume node on the retest. And low volume nodes are reversals or rejections. And I'm going to show you how to do that again. I showed you yesterday how to put in your charts the day before, so replay the last 2 videos. Hey, Gerald, is the Bluehost up now? Is the Bluehost up now? If you're trying to play the videos the last couple of days yesterday, the Bluehost went down. Okay, so Gerald says he's working on it right now to get it up. So these videos should be up this weekend for you guys, hopefully, and you can replay the last 3 days' videos to know how to trade these low volume nodes. Anyway, so then the market gets cranked down pretty hard, and then we get the reversal. We get the reversal right here. We turn green. We get inside of a higher low, and then that started the big reversal point. We had a yellow trigger by there, and it moved brisk because it caught a short squeeze, 66.80, all the way up to almost a low volume node again, 66.98, 18 S&P points, and then it got one here too. Caught here, 94.25, all the way up to 05, another 10 S&P points. So then we came back inside, hit the low volume node, and she cranked to the downside again. Look how the low volume node was really a great opportunity to play off these levels. But the one thing I want to impress upon you is that these trades that happen when the low volume node comes up are confluence trades. So let's take a look, and I'll recap this. It's on our last 2 videos, but let me recap this, how we want to look for these low volume nodes. So just getting it down your chart, you're going to see this big bell curve here. There's your bell curve. There's a high market profile, starts profiling, and the low. Remember, I overlaid this for you guys to give you confluence in the room, and consequently, we have our 4-hour, our 2 to 4 hour rolling market profile to give us our targets. I'll go over that in a second. All our targets hit yesterday because what the market likes to do when it breaks out of balance, not on these shorter Renko size charts like this, not this market profile. This market profile, we can find our low volume nodes, okay? This is our 1/135. Overlay it. This is how you're going to find your low volume nodes on this chart, and I'll show you how to do it. It's very simple. We'll go over today's after I get off this video, and I'll show you members exactly where to place your low volume nodes at for today's trading. And then as it profiles in the day, you typically get about 2 to 3 low volume nodes where the market should reject and reverse. And we got them yesterday right there. I mean, it's just beautiful. And how we did it is if you look earlier, before this low volume node even came up, this wasn't even here when we was profiling. This low volume node was here first, there. So we got this sell signal here, the first one at 1140. And then if you look, this low volume node, so you look left where the bell curve is and try to find the lowest period of volume on the whole profiling when you're profiling the whole day. That's a low volume node. So, and you can do this on any futures, any stock. It works on anything that you're profiling. So this works on all markets, works the same way. So you can find out key reversal points before the day even starts. And I did that for you yesterday, Wednesday and Thursday, and we were nailing them on the control point. So there is the, not control points, but the low volume nodes. So, whoops, let me get this off here. So there's the first one, right? And then this one was the second low volume node. So look what happens when it comes up to it. So you project this forward. You projected it a whole hour before it even came up. And look, it came up and retested it. And check this out. It retested right on the low volume node, break retest. And that's where my algorithm picked up the short. My trend filter was red in the sell zone. I mean, I had everything going for it. Then if you look at the next low volume node when it's profiling, it was right here at 6,700 whole number. And it bounced off of it. It came down to it and bounced off of it pretty hard. And then it came down and a classic break retest of the low volume node, classic break, retest, and got pulled in, and the market just got crumbled to the downside as far as that goes. But when you're putting up these low volume nodes, it's very simple. You can clearly see, if I take this off, if I look at yesterday's profile, let's find the lowest, the best one of the whole day. The lowest volume node would be right here. So you look at the left side, Leo, of the bell curve, right? The left side of the bell curve. And then you pick the lowest at the time, the lowest volume that has been traded, okay? And that's your low volume node. Does that make sense, Leo? And then what you do is you just put a vertical line on that chart for the whole trading day. And then you're going to get about 2 or 3 of those a day. Here's another low volume node. Look how they match up. So now we can cherry pick when my algorithm fires these trades. You can cherry pick which trades that you want to get in when my yellow trigger fires and your speakers go off. So once your speakers go off on a trade, see if it's on a low volume node. That's going to be your best possible trade, high probability trade of the day. And it did it again yesterday. It did it the day before, 32 to 67. What, almost 34 S&P points to the upside. Low volume node, it hit our zone, and she's good to go. So we're going to look today. So I'm going to look in today's, and we're going to try to find the low volume node. So as of right now, let's take a look at the market. Right now, my low volume nodes were sitting right here. Sitting right here as of right now. Right there's the lowest volume node of the session. Here's the second low volume node of the session. Now take a look at it. Look at this, guys. I mean, this is beautiful how this sets up. Absolutely beautiful. You can cherry pick your trades. So we know where the low volume nodes are at 6 o'clock this morning, 7 o'clock this morning. It's right now 8:36 in the morning. Where did this come off of? Our last trade. Our last trade that went up almost 10 points. Where did it come off of? It broke out of the low volume node. And what did I teach you guys and educate you guys the last couple of days? You break out low volume node, you immediately look for the retest. Look what it did. That trade fired right off of it. So, you know, this is a great way for you to look at it. Now, if you want to trade the optimal times to trade, you know, obviously these are really good early morning setups that happened here this morning, right off the control point. If you look at the control point, this fired right off the control point. My system fired right at 6:37 this morning for your early morning traders, right off the control point for Confluence, right off the control point for Confluence. And this one went from 606, and we're trading at 66.72. It's almost up 65 S&P points. 65 S&P points from this buy signal earlier this morning, and it was off of the intraday level. Now, let's take a look at targets. So now we know our entries, how we can get our entries here. Let's take a look at targets. All the targets hit yesterday. Beautiful day of trading. So these targets, this LVA was up here at this level at the time before it moved in the afternoon. So we're sitting here when I did the video. Go back and play the video. So we're sitting right there. This is LVA. So I said on the video, I said, if we get outside a low value area, what's the market like to do? The market likes to find the next fair value area. So what it's going to do, it likes to go down to the next control point. So it's trying to find the next control point. What it'll do is it will find the next fair value. That's our targets. So that's where we were sitting when I did the video, right? I said we're balanced. We're in a balanced market. So go play yesterday's video. You'll see the market was in here, bounce off low value area, bounce off high value area. And what I say, if we get outside a market profile, these lines I put up are our targets. These are our targets because these are the next fair value levels. And it just went from target to target to target. So these are good scale points if you're short from going on our entries, which I just showed you off the nodes, low volume nodes, and our algorithm firing the yellow trigger entries. And how do I come up with these levels? Well, what happens is when you break outside a profile, when you're not balanced, you become imbalanced. The market will keep going down if you're below low value area until it finds fair value. So the market's trying to find fair value, and it will keep going down to these previous market profile levels, which is typically the next control point. So what I like to do, I tell traders before the day starts, mark up your control points, because your control point is going to tell you where fair value is. So if I look at today's session, I can see right away where fair value is going to be. It's going to be here at the control point, and it's going to be yesterday's control point down here. So these are our key levels now. Here's the control fair value over here also. So I like matching up the control points. So I now know right now, since I'm imbalanced, I know my targets. I know if this market's going to rebound from yesterday's big sell-off. We're already outside of market profile. We're imbalanced. So what's the market going to try to do? It's going to try to find the next fair value. The next fair value is here at 83, and then the next fair value is here at 28. That's what the market does. You know, we're trading order flow. It's not our opinion. It's not about what we think the market's going to do. This is all the trading participants in the whole world, all the algorithms, all the hedge funds, prop firms, what they like to do. You get outside of value. Since 1985, the market likes to find fair value to the next level of the previous control point. So I like to use this chart and skinny it down over here to say, hey, these are our targets. These are our targets, right? And until we get back inside of high value area, and we're outside of high value here, until we get back inside of here on our intraday charts, until we get back inside of there and break the low volume node. Now, if it gets inside there and breaks the low volume node, guess what? Guess what we're going to look for do? Very simple. Break. Retest. Retest the low volume node and inside of HVA and look for a short signal because they just trapped the traders. What would be the target? Your target every time you get inside of HVA or when you've been outside of it or back outside. If you've been outside the low value area and get back inside it, your target is always the control point. Always. But then it likes to go to coast, which it typically does. This is your first target of 96 if you get short at 35. But she likes to bleed typically all the way down coast to 72. That's just trading order flow. That's knowing how to trade market profile. So replay these 3 videos, Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays. You'll get exactly how we like to trade the system. But I want to incorporate these low volume nodes into your trading system because the one thing when I release this system is this. And I get this over and over again from traders. A lot of traders don't log into our trading room because they trade different markets. They don't trade the S&P. They may trade the DAX or they may trade, different commodities. Or we even have traders that trade crypto and stocks. So the one main question from all these different markets I always get, which one's typically the best one? When these yellow triggers fire, which ones are typically the best one? So I wanted to show you a technique using low volume nodes and say, hey, let's cherry pick these trades. Because low volume nodes only come up 2 or 3 times a day when it's profiling over here. And did we do it yesterday and the day before? Yep. Look at that drop. Right at the low volume node, right at our system. Our yellow triggers fire perfectly. The day before, nailed it to the upside. Right at the low volume node. And then there's a low volume node down here also. Nailed the upside, right to the control point. So you can see these big possible moves off these low volume nodes. Day before, same thing. Here, the low volume node came right down to it. Retested it. Look at this move. 62.5 all the way up to HVA of 20. It got back inside. Remember, you get back inside a market profile, being outside of it, back inside of LVA. It retested at LVA. We went on this video Wednesday on these setups. Replay that video. You understand exactly how we like to trade inside, outside of profile. And look at that buy setup. Right to HVA. All right. And it's just a matter of what? It's a matter of trading off the low value, it's right there. Right there's the exact level. That was the lowest. That was the lowest volume node of the whole day. The whole day, right there. And it nailed it with our system. Yellow trigger fired right off of it. All right. It also gives you targets here to go down to.